There are so many mistakes that I see people making over and over again in the airport when they're traveling. So many mistakes I've made over the years, and I think a lot of them have really easy fixes and they just take a little bit of time and consideration. But they're things that are often overlooked or things that you skip when you're in a rush, or maybe it's just something you need to be told to be aware of. So that is what I'm doing in this video. I'm gonna go over common travel mistakes to make you aware to avoid them, and then if they require any more details, how to avoid them. The number one source of stress that I see is poor time management and just underestimating how much time things take when really you should be overestimating it. 10 more minutes at home is not worth the stress. It's never gonna be worth the stress. You want to account for how long it takes for your Uber to come pick you up, how long the drive is, what if there's traffic, what if there's an accident, are you checking luggage? You definitely want to account for more time for that. TSA lines. What time of day is it? Is it rush hour? What day of the week is it? Fridays and Sundays are much busier than like a Tuesday. How far is your gate? Do you have to get on a train? Do you have to walk to the other side of the terminal? How many minutes before the departure time does this airline that you're flying with board their planes? Is it 40 minutes? Is it 30 minutes? Is it 45 minutes? And then how soon do they close the door? Because it could be 15 minutes prior to departure, it could be 10 minutes prior to departure. But if your flight takes off at 10 a.m., you do not want to be getting to the gate at 9:55. That door will be closed, you will not be able to get on the plane. And there's just nothing worse than having to sprint through an airport. There's nothing worse than having to ask people in the TSA line if you can cut in front of them. It's not worth it. Always be early, always be early. These next things are for if you're traveling internationally, you wanna check the expiration on your passport. I'm pretty sure a lot of the time it has to be valid for at least 6 months. So it doesn't necessarily have to be expired for them to not let you go. Definitely make sure it's valid for a good amount of time. And then also check the requirements of the country that you're going into. This is something I never heard talked about growing up, but if you go to the US Department of State website, for example, they tell you all about visas, immunizations, different things that you have to go to different countries. That way you don't book the flights, book the hotels, spend all the money, and then realize you can't go. The next mistake that I see all the time is overpacking and just not packing strategically. And I understand the impulse. You don't want to be somewhere without things that you might need, but you definitely need to take the context of your trip into consideration. I also think grabbing 10 tops and 10 bottoms is not really a good move. I plan out my actual whole outfit, and I also try to bring capsule wardrobe pieces that can be mixed and matched, especially in terms of shoes. I think that's really important. And then on top of just having too much stuff with you when you're actually on the trip, if you pack your bag so heavy that you can't lift it in the overhead bin, I, as the flight attendant, can also probably not lift that in the overhead bin. And it happens all the time. And I'm like, who packed this? And they're like, me. And I'm like, why did you do that? So just be considerate of what your limitations are. And I also see a lot of stuff about the vacuum seal bags to save space. Those do save a ton of space, but they don't change the weight. So people will pack so much stuff in one bag and then it's like a brick. It's solid. And it's so heavy, so just be mindful of that. Or if you're keeping a computer in a roll-up-board carry-on, maybe you transfer it to your personal items so you don't have to lift a big computer in the overhead compartment. You can just put it under the seat in front of you. A mistake I used to make a lot, but I'm really good about these days, is checking the weather of where I'm going. It's easy to get caught in the notion of, it's summertime, it's gonna be hot here, but weather systems move and shift constantly. I mean, May of this year, for example, there was a huge snowstorm in Denver, and then I went up to Montana on a trip, and it was 45 degrees and rainy. I was not expecting that in late May, so it was really important that I checked. This next thing is good to be aware of, especially if you are checking a bag that was originally gonna be a carry-on. So if you gate check it, make sure that you have all your important items. If there's medication, if there are portable chargers and lithium batteries, please. Laptops, anything really valuable or something that you're gonna need during the flight or right when you get off the plane, you want to make sure that you move that to your personal item and don't check it underneath the plane. The last thing that you want is to realize it's time to take your medicine and it's in the belly of the plane. I feel like this next problem I mostly see with people my age, a lot of my friends, not checking in 24 hours before the flight. And I've made this mistake too, but you want to check in as soon as you can, which is 24 hours before the departure time. It secures your seat on the flight, it tells the airline that you are planning on coming so they don't oversell your seat. And overselling is a huge, big issue that is above my pay grade and not in my area of expertise since I'm in flight. But from what I know, if nobody is willing to voluntarily get off the flight, the first person bumped will be the last person who checked in. So you don't want that to be you. The next problem I see is with boarding passes. I personally screenshot my boarding passes. They are subject to change because there could always be a last minute aircraft swap, and then the seats in the plane are configured differently, so then your seat will be different than what you checked in with. That happens, but it doesn't happen so frequently that I would say it's not worth it to screenshot or print something off. The last thing you want to be doing when you're getting ready to board a flight is looking for the evidence that you belong on that flight. You're not digging through emails, not digging through apps, looking for confirmation numbers. You just have the screenshot of the barcode or the QR code. So much easier. On the topic of boarding passes, if you're traveling in a big party or family, obviously this is different if it's with really young kids, but say you're on a field trip with a bunch of high schoolers and you're chaperoning and there are 8 of them and there's 1 of you, hand everybody their own boarding pass. It is so much easier. The most chaotic boardings that I have been a part of are because one person has every seat assignment in their hands. All of those seats are spread throughout the entire cabin, and one adult is yelling at all of these different people where they need to go, and no one is sitting in the right spot. It's madness. Just have everybody hold their own boarding pass. The next mistake is not having a flexible mindset when it comes to delays. Delays happen for anything and everything. It can be passenger related, it could be plane related, it could be weather related, it could be air traffic related. Like, there are always delays. In the summertime, there are thunderstorms. In the wintertime, there are snowstorms. Like, you really just want to have a mindset and also a schedule that takes delays into account. I wouldn't recommend booking a flight that gets you in an hour before you have to be somewhere, because if any delay happens, then you're in trouble and it's just not worth the stress. I would also take that into consideration if you're booking connecting flights. A lot of the softwares to do the booking will let you book flights that only have like 45 minutes in between them, and you're booking this 3 months out. They have no idea what gates these airplanes are going to be at, so you might have to run across the entire terminal or get on a train and head to the other side of the airport, or go in some underground tunnel. Like, it could be really far away. You could be seated in the very back of the plane and be the last one off. You could take a delay. It's just always good to give yourself a little bit of extra padding because delays are really common. And a lot of times it's not in anybody's control. Like, sometimes it is, but sometimes it's, you know, a matter of there's lightning. They can't have people on the ground. They can't push back this airplane, or they can't park this airplane, whatever it is. And then in that same kind of vein, the final mistake that I see constantly is not being prepared with snacks and water. For example, there's a delay due to weather. That means that flight is probably gonna be pretty bumpy because of said weather. So the flight attendants might not be able to do a service. It might not be safe for them to stand up. So in this hypothetical scenario, you took a 1-hour delay on the ground waiting for the thunderstorm to pass. You start your 1-hour flight and they can't stand up to do a service because it's not safe. And then you get on the ground, it takes you 45 minutes to get to your rental car. Okay, now it's been 3 hours and you've had no sustenance. Obviously, in a perfect world, that would not happen and they'd be able to do a service and you wouldn't be sitting on a plane longer than you need to anyway. But because it's not a perfect world, it's probably a good idea to bring a water bottle with you, fill it up when you get through security, or buy one when you get through security. Bring some snacks with you, just in case. If you don't need them and you don't eat them, then great, you just have extra for later. It's really, really good to be prepared. And jumping back to what I said earlier about making sure you don't accidentally check medication you might need, I've seen it where people need a medication at a certain time and they don't think they're gonna need it during the flight, but then we take a major delay and then they do need it. So just be prepared. Hopefully and probably it will not be a factor. But if it is, it's really nice to have all your bases covered. So that sums up the most common travel mistakes that I've seen or that I've made. I tried to give a pretty comprehensive list, but I mean, there are always things here and there that, you know, you make the mistake once and then you're like, I would probably do that differently next time. But these are a couple of the ones that I see a lot or have made a lot. So hopefully now all of your trips go off without a hitch. Safe travels. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.